the philosophy of mastery. This is going to be a great video. So if you're new here, my name is Joel Pollard. I'm training with great martial artists. I've been doing martial arts for a very, very long time, since I was a little kid. And I've trained with Bruce Lee students as well. And one thing they would talk about, they have a lot of good stories on life, on martial arts, on Bruce Lee and philosophy and stuff. And sometimes they talk about the good old days in the 60s, 70s, training with Bruce Lee out at the school, backyard, closed environment. It was secretive back then. They talk about their experience and what they learned from Bruce. And a lot of times in Bruce's schools, he would have certain murals or posters with certain sayings he would have in certain philosophy quotes that he would like and that he put to kind of represent his art and his thought process. One of them was about the nucleus. Bruce would talk about that there's 3 stages of mastery that any person goes through, especially a martial artist. The phase of absorbing the nucleus, sticking to the nucleus, and dissolving the nucleus. What does that mean? So the first stage, absorbing the nucleus. That's like when you're a new martial artist, you don't know anything, and I see martial arts on TV, I see Bruce Lee, I see Michael J. White, I see Mike Tyson, I want to learn martial arts. So I go sign up at the martial art gym, whatever it is, whatever style doesn't matter. I go up and it's like, I'm learning a lot of this weird, different stuff. It's weird because if you would tell me to punch, I just swing, right? And that my stance is all weird and messed up and janky. My natural reactions aren't normal. It's just, they're not good. It's just my natural reaction is just whatever I do, how I swing. It's not technically correct. It's not a good technique. I would just do whatever. And so I learned, wait, that's wrong. I actually want to get in the stance here, and here. I actually want to punch with a knuckle. I want to pull back. I want to hit like this. I'm learning the elbow. I'm learning a lot of stuff that I didn't know. That's I would have never done that. This is different, but I'm learning this now, and I'm focused in on just learning this style, learning this martial art, and understand, okay, my natural instincts and reactions were wrong. I'm learning this new system, this new method. This is new to me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to learn this. That's absorbing the nucleus. You learn, you pick up something, you just learn it. You're sticking to it. You're learning it. It's just that first phase of learning where you really see wow, there's a lot to this. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to keep learning this. The second phase is sticking to the nucleus. This is, every martial artist goes through this. This is when you get to some intermediate to low advanced level of this system you're doing where you're good. And I don't really mean good, really good, but I mean good enough to where you can kind of make it work. Now you see, oh, this martial art was right. They were right about a lot of this stuff, about punching, about even boxing, about moving around, footwork, and throwing the jab and the combinations. They're right about that, or jiu-jitsu, grappling. I'm doing the grappling. I'm getting in guard. I'm getting in triangle. I'm getting in whatever. I'm getting good and I'm learning. Oh, wait, that was correct. This stuff is really good. I'm going to stick to this for a minute. And you start getting this flow where it's you believe sometimes, and this can either be intentional or unintentional, but you can believe that this art has all the answers. This is the perfect way. This is the only way this art has all the answers. It's just perfect, or you don't need anything else. Or at least the fact that you're only training the system and you believe that you don't need to go outside the system. This system works and you only need it, right? And you can do it intentionally or unintentionally. Or at least this may be the stage where you're in your intermediate phase, you're getting kind of good. And if you're sticking to it, you're training every day, you're doing the punches right. Now you kind of know how to punch. You kind of know how to kick. You kind of know how to move. And so it's you kind of know how to think correctly and what you should be doing. And now it's just training it. It's getting it down. It's sparring. It's forms. You're actually working it and putting pedal to the metal and you're getting it right. Right? And that's why I think philosophy and martial arts is so important. And I think that Jeet Kune Do philosophy is the best philosophy in martial arts, because philosophy, one, should help you in martial arts, but also help you in life. And that's what this does. That's what this video is about. It's Jeet Kune Do philosophy. Surprise. But also, if you don't have the mindset, if you don't have the understanding up here, you're not going to have it out here. And so I'm going to make more of these videos. And so in this intermediate phase, in this sticking to the nucleus, you're sticking to the system, you're sticking to the nucleus, you're sticking it out, you're working it out. So absorbing the nucleus is when you first learn it. You're whoa, when you see, wow, my natural stuff, I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm doing. I got to learn this. That's absorbing the nucleus. Now sticking to the nucleus, you're actually putting your head down. You understand it some. You're getting good. You're not awesome yet, but you're better than beginner. You're way past what you were. You know, you can beat up beginners now and like whatnot. Like you're actually getting to it and you're sticking to it because you want to get good. You want to get good at the system, so you're just sticking to the system. Damn, that's fine. Now, the last stage is dissolving the nucleus. This point is what you really call mastery, where you get to such a point in anything, but let's say martial arts, you get to such a point to where that you're no longer sticking to the nucleus. You're so good, or your understanding so profound of the system, you don't have to stick to the system anymore. Now, whereas in the sticking to the nucleus phase, the second stage, you really concentrate on your punching form, your stuff. But now, in the third phase, the mastery phase, dissolving the nucleus, your natural reaction becomes the correct form. Where in the first stage, where your natural instinct was to do something sloppy, messed up. Now the third phase, where you don't need to stick to the nucleus anymore, it's so, your training, your thought process is so embedded into your system that your natural instinct is to fight and fire correctly off rip, that you don't have to think about it anymore, where it passes that threshold where you don't have to think, you just do. Where it becomes less of a technical thought and try to do the technique right, versus now you just move and it just comes out. You no longer have to think of that. You can now you're not really focused on technique anymore. You can get away with sloppy technique, but because your stuff still works, because you're that good and your understanding of the art is that good. That is dissolving the nucleus, where you don't have to stick to it anymore. You understand the art for what it is now. Like in the second phase, you're biased. You believe it's the best thing in the world. You believe that it's the only thing you need, whatever. And that's fine. That's a phase. But then the third phase, you understand, like, okay, you understand the truth about the art, what it's good at, what it's bad at. Like you can be man enough to say it's not good at this, right? Like if you're a great boxer, you can say, yeah, boxing, we're not good at kicks. We don't know how to defend kicks. You can say that, and it's just true. You don't get offended by it. And of course, you can work around it. You can still win or whatever, but like you understand there's flaws to it. You're no longer bound by the system. You're free. You know, that's the thing. You're not limited anymore. You're not bound. You have a complete understanding of the system, of what it's good at, and now your natural reactions are like the first. Now you don't think about the technical hand placement, the technical this, the foot like this, the you don't think about any of that stuff anymore. Now, just like the first phase, you just move, you just do stuff, and it just so happens to be correct form or correct technique. That's dissolving the nucleus. Obviously, these three stages, they take time, but that's when you really understand. That's when you have mastery, is when you get to that stage. That's the point where you can start, after that third stage, that's when you start learning other arts, because you see the old art for what it is, what it's good for, what it's bad for. And now you don't mind training other systems because you want to learn. And you're not dissing that art you did, it's still good, but you want to continue to learn. You only get to that third stage by just sheer repetition. Repetition. Like that's it, like tens of thousands of reps, hundreds of thousands of reps. That's the only way you get to that. You can use you can use this analogy for a lot of different things, but like, let's just say like the finger jab. So in Jeet Kune Do, we do something called a finger jab. It's something you do with the lead hand to hit the person in the eye. You thrust your fingers close at one person's eye. It works very well. It ends the fight instantly. Well, just that one technique goes through those three stages. The first stage, absorbing the nucleus. You never heard of the finger jab before. Maybe you've never heard of it. You start to train it. You start to learn it. You start to practice it. You do this. And it's weird. It's different. Bam. Second phase, stage to the nucleus. Now you feel like this is the best technique ever. All I need is just a finger jab. The finger jab's perfect. Oh, I hit it and I end the fight. And you keep training it and you're really thinking about the technique and you're really getting the technique down and you're really thinking about it and you feel like it's the only thing you ever need. The third stage, dissolving the nucleus. Now you have actual low-level mastery of this technique to where you don't have to think about it anymore. You're just here and you naturally just move to do it correctly. You understand the technique for what it is now. You don't put it on a pedestal. You don't say it's the best technique ever. You're not doing that anymore. You understand it for what it is, and you can appreciate it for what it is. So now you know the finger jab's a great technique. It is. It's not perfect. There is no perfect technique. If there was, there'd be a martial art dedicated to only doing that. It would work every time. Since the technique doesn't work every time, it's not perfect. So the finger jab is a great technique, but you can still get, someone can still block it. Someone can still parry it. I mean, so it's not a perfect technique. If they're too far away, you can't hit them with it, right? So it's not. But at the same time, it's a great technique, and I still use it, and it's awesome. And I have it down to a point, I've done it tens of thousands of times, to where when I do, I just move. I don't have to think about technique anymore. That's a phase. This is a life cycle that every martial artist goes through, and every person doing anything goes through. And it's good for you to understand it. That really, ultimately, everything is a process of growth and learning. That's the whole point of this. And so when you reach the third stage, now you should be thinking of moving on to something else, moving on, not necessarily leaving the art behind, but continue to learn. Like, don't just stop there. Don't just stop there. When you stop learning, when you think you're the master and you're just the best in the world, when you're the master now, that's when the lid to the coffin closes. Since you're the best of the best, the master, you don't learn anything anymore. You get worse, you get weaker, because you only keep getting better, or you slowly start to decline. There is no staying right there. So if you think you're the best, you don't need to train anymore. You don't need to, you get soft and complacent, you get worse. You stop getting better. And that point can be very deadly. If you think of like a plant, I mean, or anything that's life, growth means life. Growth is good. Growth is a good thing. It's life. Plants growing, that's a normal thing. If you're a kid, teenager, growing is a normal good thing. If you stop growing, that means you're dying. That's not a good thing. So martial arts in life and anything, you want to continue to grow, you want to continue to learn. That's how we're made. That's how we're designed. That's just the human element. Is to continue to learn, continue to grow. Because once you stop growing, when you stop learning, you're dying. Like, that's quite literally how that works. So thanks for watching. Subscribe. If you want to learn martial arts, I have a course, $10 course in the link in the description. There's a lot of great stuff in there. It's very good. And that's it. See you guys.